What's going on, ladies and gents? Cerebro here for T3G, and today we're going to review the Gioteck SC-1 wireless sports controller for the PlayStation Trace. And the big reason I got one of these is actually because I hate the DualShock controllers. I really do. I've got really big hands, so the double stick really does mess with you. At the same time, I play so much Xbox that I absolutely had to get something with an Xbox layout. So in comes this bad boy. I found Gioteck after we picked up a headset for a giveaway, and wanted to kind of shout them out when we did the giveaway for the headset, and I found that they had a ton of really cool stuff, and I really took a shine to the controller. I was getting a PS3, I have one now, and I really wanted something that had the Xbox layout. I tried playing with the DualShock right off the bat when I got it, but I did end up with a couple of controllers that have the Xbox layout on them, which I very much prefer. Now, first and foremost, obviously, we have the feel. Now, the feel is really nice. It's still kind of small. I've got really big hands, so it's still kind of small. For proper placement, I'm kind of, like, if I was to go claw, it's not good. But for standard, I've still got like a loose finger and a half. But the nice thing about that is because it's an Xbox layout, I don't ever have to worry about my fingers touching when I'm trying to use dual stick controls, especially in a game like God of War. You actually do use dual stick controls all the time. It has the standard D-pad, which is nice because it has more of a kind of a, I guess I want to say Sega Genesis feel. It's got that kind of dip down feel. Maybe I just had like a weird Genesis controller, but that's kind of how I remember the Genesis controller to be. And it's nice. It's a nice feel, and it's got good motion on it. So it's got more of that fighting style. So if I wanted to throw on like Street Fighter or something like that, I think that would be really good for that. Now the thumbsticks do have the concave feel like the Xbox controllers do, which is really nice. I like that because then you put your fingers on it and the natural curve of your finger kind of goes into it, and you don't have to really worry about moving a lot because the tip, I don't even know what to call that, the kind of the bottom of your finger print is kind of holding it in place, and not really, you're not going to lose the stick very often. The buttons, the standard 4 buttons, I don't even know what to call them, like, you know, it used to be A, B, X, Y, and now it's, you know, square, triangle, rectangle, whatever. But the action buttons, we'll call them, the action buttons are they're the same layout as they are on the DualShock, but they are a little further apart, which I like. Again, I've got big hands, so having the buttons really right next to each other, not the greatest for me. You've got your home button, you've got your select and start buttons like you would normally, and then you also have your turbo button, which is pretty sweet. Again, not something I've really had a chance to play around with, just because I've been playing through God of War, and that's kind of just a straightforward game. You don't really need a whole lot of extra buttons. I wager that I probably won't really need to use a lot of the extra features on this. I just really wanted something that was wireless and that was Xbox layout. That was the main thing for me. As far as the bumper buttons go, I don't love these. These are not the greatest for me. Because of the way they're designed, they bump in on the inside as opposed to the whole button going down. So it's kind of like a pivot. You know, it's kind of like a pivot button. So the one side goes down, but I guess if you do push the one side, it does push the button in, but this side's not going in. It's just pushing the button over. Which makes the actual button go down. So that's not my favorite feel. When I'm using those buttons, it just doesn't feel as satisfying as on a regular Xbox or even on a DualShock controller. I will say the triggers are pretty awful. They're slanted, which is nice. It kind of gives you a better feel on the finger, but because they're so thin, they feel like a toy. That part of the controller really feels bad, honestly. It's one of those things that, like, if it was just a little bit bigger, if it was just a little bit taller and wider, now I'm sure that, you know, plays into some sort of copyright for Xbox controllers, but it's one of those things that without that, it really doesn't feel as good, and I'm not a huge fan of the triggers on this. It does have the standard mini USB plug to power it up to charge it, and then it's got that wireless receiver that plugs into the USB. The only other thing I'd like to point out is the build quality of this. Overall, it's got a good feel. It's kind of that like rubberized plastic. It's got a really nice design. I like the... I guess, you know, because it is the sports controller, it does kind of have more like a uniform feel, like a football uniform or something like that. But the actual build quality has a couple rough spots. There are a couple parts where the actual plastic on the top portion, that where it meets the bottom portion, it's really rough. So it's, I mean, it's again really minor thing. But just, I wanted to kind of get in on a little more of the detail to this, just because some people might like to know that. It's not, you know, this could be a one-off issue. You know, this I just got one that happened to have gotten, you know, that problem. But yeah, it's just right on the edge here, and that is in your hand, so you know, I suppose it could start to irritate you or something like that. But to me, it hasn't really. But I don't really play that often, so it's one of those things that if you play more, it might become more of an issue for you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I pretty much enjoy this controller overall. I like it. I would give it like a B, like a grade B. It's a really solid controller. It feels good. Besides these triggers, I really have no major qualms. I would say I would recommend it just because of the price. I think it was, memory serves, 25, maybe 35 bucks, if that. But I do like it overall. There's not really, like I said, besides the triggers, there's not really much else to dislike about this controller. It's got what I want. It's got a good feel, pretty much overall a good feel, and got a good value. Honestly, it's not a $60 controller, so it's one of those things that I don't have to pay ridiculous amounts of money for to get what I want, and that's rare in this world and especially in this country. And those are my 2 cents for the day. I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you liked the video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up for us. It does help us out, you know, gives us a little bit more credibility on this YouTube here. But yeah, if you have any questions about this controller, anything else, anything else about here or Xbox or PlayStation, you know, I'll throw my tags up if you guys want to play with or against me. I don't do a lot of multiplayer on PlayStation. Like I said, I pretty much got that to play through a few games. But on Xbox, I'm on Titanfall and Destiny and all that good stuff all the time. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. Check out c3gtech.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And still doing the contest on Facebook. So if you get us to 100 likes, we'll be giving away a headphones, a pair of headphones, a headphone, whatever. An Audio-Technica set, I think it's pair. Anyway, Audio-Technica headphones will be given away, as well as a Western Digital router. And yeah, check out facebook.com/those3guys. That'll be on the screen. Well, yeah, as always, I've been Cerebro for T3G. Thanks for watching. Signing off.